Okay, so now that you've had the opportunity to discuss each of the sketches on the board in detail and people understand a little bit more about the ideas and the thoughts behind each one, we're going to move on to our next set of silent dot voting. And this time we're going to be using red dots. So you'll see on the area of your Miro board, just below where the sketches are kept, some red dots here. And the plan now is to give everybody two red dots. So you can kind of drag and take two red dots that you want to use to vote. And you're going to put them again on a word, on a particular part of a sketch, or on a sketch as a whole that you really want to include in the final prototype or in the solution. So the idea here is that we're layering up on our heat map. So we started with green dots, and we have a lot of those that express a like or an interest in a particular idea. Now we're going to use our red dots, and our red dots are essentially saying, okay, I feel really strongly that this should be included in the final solution. So you only have two of them. You can't create as many as you want. So you have to be quite selective with what you're going to vote on. And you simply drag these up and place them somewhere on the sketches. So you're going to set 5 minutes on the timer to do that. And hopefully your timekeeper will be able to do that either again in Miro or by using a timer outside of Miro. So this is what the majority of the group are going to be doing. Now, if you have one key decision maker, potentially a CEO or kind of a project head for this idea that you're looking at, they're going to have these things that we call super votes. So they don't get any red dots. They will get these super votes instead. And as I said, it will only be one person that gets these, so the kind of key decision maker. Essentially, a super vote means this idea is going in the prototype. This is a guarantee that it's in there. The red dots are saying that I feel very strongly that this should be included, but a super vote is saying this is going in the final solution. This is something we're definitely using. So while most of the team are placing their red dots on the different sketches around the board, your key decider or your CEO or your product manager can place their super vote on the board at the same time. So this exercise in total will take 5 minutes. You can pause the video now or keep playing to see an example of what the board can look like once these votes are in place. Okay, so here's an example of what your board might look like after you have done your red dot and super dot voting. Please bear in mind that in this example, again, we only have 3 sketches here just to show you an example of what this could look like. But in a normal product design sprint, you could have around 9, 10, maybe even more sketches. So these red dots will be more evenly distributed around the board in the areas where there are other sketches there. But again, for our purposes, we've just got the 3 sketches. So what we can see here is that someone feels very strongly that this functionality here around the place being visited or a place that you want to visit, someone feels strongly about that. Someone feels strongly about a floating kind of add button. So that's something that we should really kind of look to include. And then over here, we've got something that someone has super voted, and we've got somebody else that expressed a really keen interest in this as well. And that's around the 2 layers of tags, so that there would be 2 layers of tags to a place, one around kind of activity or accommodation or the restaurant, and the second then is more specific, and that's to increase searchability. So these are the things that people have felt strongly about including in the prototype. So when we're doing our next exercise, which would be to storyboard our prototype, these things should strongly be considered to be included. So now that you've finished your red dot voting, please feel free to move on to the next video.